For sharpening today, will be sharpening a spyderco native. So what I'm showing you guys currently is the CBN compound I bought from gritomatic. It's 1 micron. I smear the CBN compound on the leather using a sponge. There is a lot of way you can put your compound on the leather, whether you use brush, you use hand. For me, what I have at the moment is the sponge, so I will smear it first on the leather, and then I will set it and I will set it aside during my sharpening to let the compound dry on the leather. So the leather is a substrate. You can use wood, you can use balsa, you can use basswood for your substrate. Substrate is the place where you put your compound to. So here goes. I put it aside. This is the knife, spyderco relative. I got this a few months back. It's still in its factory edge. It's sound quite rough, as you all can hear it, quite rough. So there is a couple of places in the edge that is not cutting well, so that's why I'm decided to sharpen this knife. So my first step in sharpening will always be distressing the edge or removing the old edge. This first part of the step is by running the knife edges 90 degrees to any stone or hard surfaces to remove the fatigue metal from the edge. So this is done because for factory edges, as you all know, from the factory, they sharpen the knife through belt, through rotating belt. So any friction, any movement on the belt will cause heat, and that heat will cause some edge degradation on the knife. So it is important for you guys, if you are wondering why your factory edges don't hold long for that much, this is the cause. So I'm starting off with the 300 grit diamond plate by ultrasharp. The first stone is important for you to set your edges, for you to set your bevel. So a crisp bevel determine the next your sharpening route. If you have a crisp bevel, your next stone progression will be easy. Otherwise, if your bevel is all over the place, you might run into convexing the edge more and more as you progress to the stone. For 300 grit, I apex it one side and switch to the other side, and then I switch over to the 600. I don't make a couple of apex, only one side apex and move to the other side, and then I switch over to the 600. So here I'm checking the edge. You need to always check your edge and feel for it. You have to know when you have to switch, when you have to move on, when what are you looking at, the edge. So now I'm switching over to 600. 600 is also the same. I apex it one side and move on to the other side, and then I switch stone over to 1200. So 600, I feel for the edge where the burr is. Typically I don't make big burr because at the end of your sharpening you will be removing the burr. So if you have a big burr, so you will be having a trouble to removing the burr at the end of your sharpening. That's why I'm trying to minimize the burr as small as possible. Here is still on the 600 grit. I don't make any unnecessary movement, only the movement that I need. So but I get the apex. When I got the burr, I switch side. Alright, already got the pick the other side. I'm cutting this part because I have some disturbance. Now I'm moving on to 1200 grit. Another disturbance. Alright, feel for it. Now set the edge flush of the blade. Move slowly. Alright, side to side with the edges. One pass done. If you are unsure, make an extra pass like this. Usually I make one or two. Okay, now I switch side. You can use your dominant hand, you can switch your hand, it's up to you. It's up to your preferences, right? Okay, one pass. Two pass. Yep, I feel for it. Feel for the burr. Now I'm wiping out the edges to check on it. If you all see, I've just moved quickly through the grid. So at this 1200 grid, I do an extra pass just to remove the factory scratches on the edge. Not to do much on the apexing, only removing the scratch pattern on the factory edges. If I apex it, I will switch side and then try to realign the apex in the middle. This is what you call feathering, removing the factory edges, removing the factory scratches from the bevel, from the edge bevel. And constantly check your edges. If your burr flip, make sure you flip it back to the middle and minimize it. Now I'm switching over to the spyderco medium. Spyderco medium that has been lapped to a medium coarse. Although the spyderco is a medium grit, the other side I lap it a little bit coarser than the original surface. So I got one stone with two surfaces, two different surfaces. So here on the spyderco medium, you can hear the different sound that it make from one side of the stone to the other side. So you can hear the audio, the what do you call that, the audio, the sound it produces is different. It happened because the one side is, as I was mentioning earlier, one side is coarser than the other side. That's why it's different different sound, different acoustic, you can say. Back set using the coarse medium, switch side as usual, flush on the stone. That's why I'm holding the stone like this, because I want to see is the edge of the knife flat on the stone. I move slowly, no pressure. I don't put any pressure during, just let the stone work on the knife. I'm checking again. At these stages, the burr is very minute, very small, so you need to be sensitive You need to train yourself to feel the burr. I move an extra pass just to double confirm, just to confirm whether I really apex it. Here I'm doing feathering to remove the factory scratches from the knife edges. So with this kind of sharpening, I got some friends that love their knife that don't want their factory edges to be removed. They said it's removing steel. Of course, sharpening is removing steel, but with this amount of sharpening, how much metal that I remove from my knife? It's negligible for me. So I still cannot. I mean, yeah, it's up to them. It's their knife. For me, factory edges, as much as possible, I want to remove it. I want to put my own edge on it, so that I can enjoy my knife, so I can use my knife for a long one, and then I know by the end of the day I can sharpen it. So learn to sharpen, guys. Now currently I'm edge leading is for minimizing the burr. Whatever burr that I produce during the motion, I try to minimize it. So after this, I'm gonna move to the other side, doing the same motion, edge leading. Now the burr has flipped, so I move to the other side and doing the same motion to minimize the burr. Whatever burr left on the edges, some of it will be fall off, some will stay, and then I will move to the other stone. Have I switched side to the fine stone yet? I think I haven't. Yeah, feel for it. Okay, now I'm switching to the fine ceramic. This stone also been lapped with one side of it as an ultra fine by resurfacing it with a diamond plate 400 grit and then 1500. So it's if you feel it by touch of your hand, it's slightly slickier. I mean, slickier than the ultra fine stone. So I'm doing the same motion. This one is to apex the knife on the ceramic, as well as removing the all factory scratches. Yeah, no pressure, just let the stone do the work. Consistent angle. Your knife should be flush on the stone. Don't make unnecessary movement. Make the movement count. Always check and feel your edges. So on this stone, I will do an extra passes either on the fine or on the ultra fine stone. This is to completely remove the factory scratches, factory edges, factory scratches. So you can see I'm feathering the edges and check if I make a burr, and when I make a burr, I switch side, remove that factory edges, remove the factory scratches from the side, and if I burr it again, if I strip over the burr, I switch side again, and then I will make an edge leading passes to minimize the burr. Whatever burr left after this final stone will be, once I get into the strop, the moment I strop it, all the bow should be gone by the first drop. So in this session, I'm using only one strop, 1 micron. I just want to see with minimal stropping, can it wiggle hair? So we shall see. This is the extra passes that I mentioning. Again, back to the subject of removal of steel from your knife. So if you can see, I don't make any unnecessary movement. I don't remove unnecessary metal. I just remove some metal from the edges, not from the knife, only from the edges, which is just a millimeter or micrometer wide. So it doesn't make any significant metal loss on the knife. So for you guys who like to maintain, but like I said, it's all depend on the people and your preferences. If you think your knife is beautiful in that factory edge, go ahead. I don't mind. I'm just giving out my thought, my opinion on it. So as you guys know, some people like to keep their knife as factory standard as it is, without knowing what good is a knife if you just for showcasing is not using it. Knife is a tool. You should use it, and when you use it, it becomes dull. You need to sharpen it. That's it. Right, constantly check your edges. Check it. There is a couple of extra passes. I can't remember. I think it's 3 extra passes on this extra fine stone. At these stages, I'm doing a single edge leading passes to remove and minimize whatever burr there is on the edge. So I'm using only single hands so that I can move it quickly side by side. And after finishing with the burr minimization, I will straight away move to strop and strop, and from there I will make an before I move to strop, I will make a edge cut test to see if there are any hang up on the edge of the knife, and then I will go straight away to strop. Check your edges for remaining burr and sharpness. So at this stages, I'm quite happy with the outcome of the edge. Now I'm So now I'm doing the cut test to see any hang up, so you can differentiate the acoustic that it produced before and after. This is the after sharpening. If you heard it on my first cut test on the factory edges, it's kind of loud, so this one is muted. Now I'm doing the stropping one side, and then constantly check your strop and your edges that you've been stropped, and then once you are satisfied with it, switch side, strop it again, and see the edges. It will produce, for 1 micron, it will produce a little bit of kind of mirror to your edges, and that mirror will make your cutting more pleasant. It will be less resistant, should I say. Now continue stropping. A point to remember during stropping: do not push too hard on the leather. Just glide the knife on the leather. Do not put any pressure on the leather with your knife, otherwise you will convex the edge more. Otherwise you will ruin your apex. The intention of stropping is to remove whatever burr on your edge and make the edge as clean as possible. So after you finish stopping, clean the edge, then check the edge. Now it's cut more pleasantly and effortlessly. And now what I'm doing is try to extra passes, because I see there is some part of the edges, it's still got scratches that can be that can be removed by stropping. Continue stropping, and what I will do afterwards is the moment of truth. Will it whittle hair? Will it cut hair? So when I come to that part, I will narrate it for you guys again. Now this is me pulling my hair for hair whittling test. Now this is my hair. So at this part, this is the hardest part to record because you need to position it very well for you to see to record the hair whittling. So there's me setting it up. I fast forward this section because it's taking too long to set up the correct angle and correct lighting. There's just try and error. So at the end, I managed to catch it, but not at this view. Instead, the view I can attest to it. I mean, the view that, yeah, at least I documented it, that it can cut hair, free hanging hair, whittle not much. So there is some takeaway that I need to improve on the future sharpening. One of it is to be more consistent on the factory scratch removal on the diamond instead of on the ceramic. Otherwise I have to spend more on the ceramic, fine, that is. And then I need to buy new strop and new compound so that with that I can do a hair whittling test. So this is the hair whittling test that I mentioned. It's not hair whittle but hair cutting. So I'm quite satisfied with the edge that I produce, and proudly I am very proud that I hand sharpen it and it can cut free hanging hair, because I got only 1 micron. So this is the best that I can produce. If I want to whittle hair, I need 0.5 or 0.25 micron, and then I will can produce a hair whittling. But so far I'm okay with this. I'm happy. I'm glad that the edge that come out from this sharpening session. Although it's not consistent, but yeah, that is one more takeaway. I need to produce a consistent hair cutting or hair whittling edges all around the edges, not only part of it. So there is, guy, my full sharpening from dull to hair whittling, hair cutting, free hanging hair, knife sharpening. Okay, if I got more video, be sure to subscribe. Bye.